name is Cinephile ASMR, and today we are talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie. That honestly kind of feels like a weird title. Why not just call it Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Bros. Movie? It's the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I don't know. And then when there's going to be sequels, because this movie's going to make a load of money, it's going to be the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2. I don't know, it just feels like an unnecessary mouthful. Anyway, what is the Super Mario Bros. Movie even about? Well, when brothers Mario and Luigi are teleported into an unknown world and get split up, Mario has to undertake the responsibility of finding his brother before Bowser gets to him. I am not the die-hard Mario gamer that I was or could have been growing up. I mean, I played Mario Kart, I've played it throughout, and I played, I believe it was Super Mario Galaxy, and I liked it. So I didn't have many expectations or bars to be met when going into this movie. All I really wanted, just like I get out of the games, is for there to be a worthwhile, vast set of locations. Because let's be real, you don't go into a Mario game expecting some deeply nuanced story with layered characters. Like, no, you go into it for the gameplay, for the level design, for the world building and atmosphere, and it delivers. And that's all I wanted in this movie. And I gotta say, I had quite the good time. With a cast as big as this, with as much money being thrown in it, with so many talented people behind it, this was bound to at least deliver something, and I got exactly what I wanted. I think it's inevitable that you're going to see a lot of critics not like this movie or negatively take it as something much more than it needs to be. And while I do think everyone's opinion is very valid, I think what really matters is what you go in, the intention of you as an audience member going into a movie like this. Because honestly, it isn't anything more or a step further than the games it's adapting. I will say though, there was quite a few surprises, one being the cast of characters that I wound up loving more going out of it than I did coming in. I knew Jack Black was going to be great, but he really was a scene stealer with two moments in particular that had me chuckling non-stop. And while I do say with the great cast that it has, I was kind of disappointed a little bit in certain people. I mean, Seth Rogen plays Seth Rogen, he was good. Keegan-Michael Key's Toad did get quite annoying because they do something with his voice, but he did okay. But the two big missteps for me was Charlie Day as Luigi just wasn't enough. He needed to be in that movie more because I love Charlie Day. That's just a little personal thing for me. But also, I gotta say, Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, is a phenomenal actor, has absolutely crashed onto the screen and has not let go. But this just felt a bit miscast to me as she plays Princess Peach. But again, other than that, the biggest surprises were Jack Black and how was Chris Pratt. Well, of course, as we have seen in the trailer, he doesn't have the same Italian accent that the Mario in the games has. But I will say there is a in-universe sort of explanation behind it, and I don't believe that it was an excuse because of casting Chris Pratt. I think it really was very well integrated into the story, because I need to ask you at least, would you be okay with having that exaggerated Italian accent for 90 minutes and take it seriously? When it was all said and done, I had to really admire the fact that they decided to do something different about his voice, and I thought Chris Pratt was good. I mean, I still think his best role of all time is as Emmett in the Lego movie. I felt it was perfectly serviceable. I had a great time. It felt like a fast food meal for me. It is a little bit dirty, a little bit unhealthy. It doesn't really have health longevity factors, but I ate it and I had a good time in the moment, and I don't really ever expect on eating it going forward. I liked the experience I had, and I think what a lot of people in the discourse of animation are saying, that because an animated movie is geared towards kids or it is specifically made for kids, kind of negates the flaws of piss poor writing or pitfalls in storytelling. Now, I think there's a lot of things to tackle in that subject matter. For one, animation is a medium, not a genre, and I think so many people have crushed that barrier down in recent years. But I think the conversation should be had that I think animation is a medium that has intentions, as does film. You will have animated films, not all of them are going to be like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish or Into the Spider-Verse, which pushes the envelope in many different ways. Sometimes, and this is what really was the biggest forefront of a reminder by the end of me watching the Super Mario Bros. Movie, is that you just gotta have the good films. I could just imagine bringing my little sister, my cousins, just younger people to seeing this movie and it winding up being one of their favorites. But just because me as an almost 20-year-old person didn't have that same sort of attachment doesn't lessen or cheapen the overall value, because this movie isn't mediocre, but it just isn't as groundbreaking, and that isn't something that needs to happen in every animated film, you know? This movie is like less than 90 minutes with credits, I think adding to like 80-ish, and I think that is a perfect runtime for as quickly as the story moves. It knows exactly what fans love, and that is the action, the set pieces, the world, and you get that. I would say for the first like 30 minutes, I was a bit wishy-washy on what the story was doing, and I knew that where it was going, I was getting excited for, and I frankly think it really delivers. Primarily in a sequence where all of the characters are in their own specific cars and motorcycles, and that's where the animation and the fun really ramps up. And I did have the pleasure of experiencing this in 4DX, which are seats that move, water, mist. It literally is like a barrage of the senses, and I think if you have not only the money but the physical bandwidth to experience it in that quality, check it out. I had a lot of fun with this movie, and as I said earlier, it really comes down to what you're intending to get out of this film. If you're looking for a good time, if you are a fan of the Mario games, you are going to love this. And even as someone like me, who is a bit of a lighter enjoyer of the series, I came out of it having a lot of fun. I will say this is an Illumination film up to a fault, as I do feel a lot of their movies just feel like the extremity of fast food squared, where it hinges on pop culture, music, references, and it loses a lot of its essence and identity that you have animation companies like Sony Pictures Animation, DreamWorks, Pixar doing it so well. But I would say this is not their best, but it's also definitely not their worst. It is arguably probably their best animated, and it did really feel like I was watching a visual Super Mario game come to life. And on a final note, I have to seriously give it to Brian Tyler, the composer of this movie. Now, I do think there is some in real world actual music that is in this film that I didn't love, but it was the score for this movie that takes motifs and sounds from this series, and it makes it so exhilarating. Now, with all of that being said, a cast that actually surprised me in unexpected ways, sort of disappointed me in lack of screen time and perhaps potential miscasting, but booted by truly amazing animation, a team that definitely was passionate about the source material and action sequences, with most especially the race on like Rainbow Road and all these different areas coming together in a brisk 80-minute enjoying ride. I gotta give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a strong B-. Gotta sometimes have those B movies, because not everything is going to shoot for the stars or try to be some immaculate ode to life or this critique on the human condition, you know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be that deep. And I think the writers and the filmmakers behind this understood that. I was never bored. I was never feeling like it was a bad film. I just had a good time. But of course, let me know what you thought about the Super Mario Bros. Film down below. Comment what was your favorite part, what was your least favorite part, who were your favorite characters. Honestly, at the end of the day, Jack Black's Bowser and Chris Pratt's Mario were my favorites. But again, I really enjoyed having a fun time. Take your whole family to go see this. Younger kids are going to eat this movie up into oblivion. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you have not. But of all things, remember to take life one frame at a time.